Welcome to my show. My name is Susan Rushton and this is Olio. Before I go any further, I want to explain what Olio means. Olio is short for olla podrida, which is Spanish for rotten bowl, which I get such a kick out of. It's a Spanish-Portuguese dish with essentially everything in the world in it, including bacon, pork, sausage, chicken, chickpeas, cabbage, pig's ears, onions and garlic, essentially everything in the world in it, except onion rings and macadamia nuts. That's one definition. Another definition is olio is what comes in between acts of a melodrama. You might have somebody juggling, you might have somebody singing, you might have somebody doing a skit, and none of it has anything to do with anything else, and none of it has anything to do with the melodrama. So in other words, it's apples, oranges, and a monkey wrench. So today my guests are two gentlemen I highly admire. Way over there, way here is Terry Crouson, excuse me, and next to him is Don Goard. They are both veterans. Terry, you are a veteran of what? Where did you serve? What did you serve?
I was a Marine Corps. In the Marine Corps, and then went into the Army Reserve, became a drill sergeant, and moved on up and retired out Command Sergeant Major.
Wow, all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Don, what are you? You are a veteran, and where did you serve?
I was in the Navy.
Okay. For how long?
7 years.
All right. And so I appreciate that. These guys are deeply involved with the area's honor guard, and that's why I have invited them. And if I had known who they were, if I had known what kinds of guys they are, I'd have met them earlier, because they're truly wonderful men. Gentlemen, when the honor guard, what does the honor guard do?
Well, the honor guard gives earned military honors to those who pass away, and that's
the veterans who pass away. Yeah.
Yes, and the veteran who died does not know whether he or she got the proper honors, but the family does, and it's good closing for the family.
Yes.
And it's just a natural thing that we need to do.
Okay. And from what I gather, there was no action like this in Auburn for years and years?
Well, it wasn't as powerful as it should be. When my father died, I wanted my father to have full honors, and my father served in World War II when he didn't have to, because he was in the Illinois National Guard, and when they activated the National Guard, because he had a wife and 2 sons, they put him in the state militia. But later on he managed to get himself in, and when he had a wife and 4 sons. And so I had he was in the Army, and I intended to go in the Army. Wound up going in the Marine Corps, and later on wound up in a drill sergeant unit in the Army Reserves. When my dad died, I wanted him to have full honors because he wouldn't serve his country when he didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 5 sons that all served. And one of his sons was killed in action. And I wanted my dad to have full honors, and they couldn't come up with anything locally. But I was in the Army Reserves then as a drill sergeant unit, and I had my father honored by drill sergeants with Smokey Bear hats on. and he would have loved that. And a major friend of mine did the presenting, and I hired a bugler, and I felt good that I had taken care of my father. And then I felt guilty. I thought, well, I can do it, but the average citizen can't do it. And that's when I started putting together an honor guard.
Okay. And that was when?
Well, it was back in the, I don't know, a long time ago.
Okay. I see that you've told me that it started, the arrangement that started in May 2001.
May 21, yeah.
Yeah.
On a friend of mine who was in the VFW and I were out putting flags down for Memorial Day, and we got talking about it. And that's,
Wouldn't this be a good idea?
yes.
Yeah. Can we, but the only thing, I can imagine that you would think, well, we need to get people to do this. We need to get people who want to do it and to do it well. How did you get in touch with this guy?
I don't
Oh,
remember
him?
either. I was just thinking about that. I don't remember if I was recruited or I'm involved with other veterans organizations, so I'm sure that's how I heard about the honor
Word
guard.
got around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I started contacting any and all veterans groups so I could get them involved. And I had been on an honor guard when I was in the Marines. And now wanted to put one together, and I was able to do that because I had the proper training for it.
Yeah. And it's likely that if you've lived long enough, I've lived long enough, I've gone to at least, not, these guys have seen more funerals for veterans than I have, but I've seen 3 veterans funerals, and the first one it was 20 years ago, 30 perhaps. My uncle died, my mother's brother, and he'd been in World War II and had been in prison in Germany. And I had no idea what to expect. And of course, what happened was they folded the flag. They played taps. They gave the flag to my aunt, and there were tears all around, including from me. It was impressive. It was honorable, and made me feel just wonderful because it was so dignified. And I'm assuming, and you're going to say, of course you're right, Susan, that's how we want things to be in these funerals for the veterans who have helped this country. We want it to be dignified and important and serious. That's your job?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The feeling is the same.
Military
No matter how many we do.
military honors actually started in 1868
Okay.
after the Civil War. In the South, they were already doing military honors, and then the president came up with the same idea, and they started doing all kinds of military honors. And as a child, my dad would take us up to the military cemetery between Mounds and Mound City, Illinois, which was really the first one dedicated.
Huh.
And you'd see all these veterans there and honoring them, and it's just something I got stuck with. Back then, I knew what it was.
And you wanted to do this for other people?
Well, after I went in
Families.
the Marines, I did.
Okay.
I wound up doing it.
And so Don, you were with the Navy, And Terry, you were with two organizations.
Marines and Army Reserves.
Yeah. And so you, even though you are not, you did not work with the same organizations. You were veterans, yes, but still you worked together.
We made sure we did, yes. Veterans do work together.
Yeah. It's not big. It has nothing to do with which organization you were with.
No.
Just as long as you're veterans.
There's still a lot of teasing between the services, but we're all brothers.
Good. And I can imagine you're one who teases the most.
No.
No. He is. No. I am. You are. So, how long you've been involved since May through November in 2001, right?
Well,
In Auburn.
we're a while putting it together and getting it certified, but yeah, early days we got
What does it mean getting it certified?
from the Department of Defense,
Okay.
the federal government, and they certified us.
Yeah.
So way back when, and so we've been doing them for a long time.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. And so you've been doing it since 2001. How long have you been doing it?
Probably 6 or 8 years.
Okay. Why did you say yes? Actually, no,
Why
that's not
don't
my,
I know?
excuse me, that shouldn't be the question. The question was, but the question should be, how did you find out about it?
I don't truly remember, except like I say, I was involved with veterans, and so
The word
I probably
got
had
around.
heard about the Honor Guard before I thought about joining it, but I don't really remember the circumstances.
Okay. And so how many are women part of the organization?
Yes.
Okay.
Matter of fact, one of our members is the first woman admiral,
Bonnie.
Bonnie
Physician.
Potter. And,
Yeah.
she's a great lady, but we've had other women involved.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to make sure we have them involved too,
Yes.
and we want to honor them.
You heard that. Bonnie Potter is a great lady.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I've got to vote for that too.
Okay, good. So how many people are involved in Auburn, in the Auburn area?
Well, pretty close to around 20 right now.
Okay.
Got to pick up. I just picked up 2 new members, and we'll be picking up some more.
Good.
But one of our early founders just recently passed away, and we had military honors for him. But it just kind of changes through the years.
Yes. So if a person is a veteran and wants to become involved, what they do is they email you?
They can email me or contact me, call me, or whatever.
Okay.
And,
I have Terry Crouson. Crouson's email, CROUSON @ncbb.net. Can they contact, does it make any sense to contact Don?
People that know me or hear about me contact me, but better to have Terry as
Better
a
to have
central
Terry. It
contact.
seems it would be okay to contact you, though.
And people do. I mean, people know that I'm involved.
Okay.
But I will always send them to Terry.
Okay, so, all right, Don, thank you. So, basically, mainly, we're talking about the celebration of this veteran who has died, honoring that person with this wonderful folding of the flag. It's a long time thing, and we have some film of the two of you doing this honor. So why don't we show that, and we can talk about it later.
Sounds
Okay?
good.
So please enjoy. Please don't cry while you watch it. Okay. So I've seen, all of us who have been involved in this or aware of this, we all know that there's a specific kind of folding of the flag. For one thing, it ends up as a triangle. Why does it end up as a triangle? Do you have any idea?
Well, in the old days, it just became that to put it away. They would fold it, and we had, originally we started out with 13 states, and the fold was 13, and put it into a triangle. It was just something somebody started doing. And
Okay. It seemed to work out.
Yes, ma'am.
And be dignified.
There's
Okay.
a lot of stories that have come from it, but one is that it's the shape of the tricorner hat that used to be worn in the military.
Okay.
But there you'll hear a lot of legends about the traditions of the flag.
Can you tell me another?
Well, and one is the 13 folds.
So there are 13 folds.
Well,
Necessarily.
Well, what I was going to say is sometimes there are 13 folds,
And-
but the flags are all different. They're different proportions, different shapes, and
You
so
work hard.
it's about 13 folds, but it isn't always exactly.
You try to get it to be 13.
Yes.
Okay. I had no idea. I always I always have been eyeing about the fact that it always ends up as a very elegant triangle, and with the stars showing. Yes? Okay. And I love the idea of you guys, of the two guys saluting. You're not saluting each other, right?
No.
Right.
You're saluting the flag
Correct.
and the person who
Correct.
deserves it. Okay.
The United States is the only country whose flag is treated as a person. That's why that we don't want to let the flag touch the ground. You always respect it. When it's worn out, you retire it with a ceremony, usually by burning. No other country treats their flag the same way.
Right. And I heard you saying when you were undoing the flag you used, that well, I wrote it down. Every flag, no, this flag was supposed to be retired, but you couldn't let it go.
I collect flags. We have, with COVID, we haven't done big retirements, but we have probably thousands of flags that we will retire in a large ceremony. And so I collect these flags essentially from the veterans halls, and I always go through them because I find brand new. I found a brand new 48-star veterans flag that somebody had put in. I had found flags from other countries. It's always interesting, but I try to save the ones that are usable to give to people that need them.
Okay. Would you be using a 48-star flag?
I have it in a frame, and it's a
Okay.
treasure.
Collector's item.
But
Okay.
it's it's the flag my dad served under, and it's the flag I was born under, and so it's special.
Yes.
I have a 48-star flag, and I have a 49-star flag
Okay.
at my home that I just keep as keepsakes. The 48 one is the one I keep to honor my father.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So you guys there are about 20 people who do this at the moment, right? But you want more.
Well, we need more. We people passing away. Our own
Yeah.
veterans passing away, and it's in order to keep giving good honors. And honors have changed through the years. When I was in the Marines and we did military honors, they'd fire 3 volleys and then take 3 spent cartridges and place them in the flag
Ah.
as they folded it. And then they had them quit doing that because the cartridges are dirty. So one of the things that we do now is we collect spent cartridges and polish them up, clean them and polish them, and then we present them to the family
Wow.
for keepsakes.
Okay. Okay. But you're always looking for more people to be involved
Absolutely.
with the Honor Guard.
Most of our services are during the week. We'd like to get young people, but a lot of young people are working and not available. And then some people feel like the Honor Guard is a big commitment of time, and it really isn't. If there's a burial on a Thursday, Terry will call, and if we're not available, we say we're not. And so hopefully we have enough that we can always fill it out. But it's not very, very time consuming. We have a meeting once a month or every other month, and then whenever we have either holiday ceremonies or burials.
Okay. And one has to practice.
Yes.
At first, I guess.
Have to be trained.
Be trained, yeah. Okay. So I got hold of Larry Laverne, who got hold of you. And Larry Laverne is deeply, deeply, deeply involved with area veterans and the Honor Guard and the Navy. man, is he ever. And he was the person that I could contact. And he did. He contacted you. But if you don't know Larry Laverne, it's a good idea to figure out, to get Terry's attention. Terry Crouson, right? Again, his email is Crouson, Crouson, at ncbb.net. And if you have any way of figuring out how to work a website, they would be delighted to have you, because they need a website. It would be a good idea to have a website. And if you are interested in learning more about the organization, I have a brochure that they gave me, militaryOneSource.mil/MFH directory. And that gives you lots of information about the military. Okay, what about taps? What about why do you play taps?
Well, taps is the honoring for those who have served and passed away. That started way back during the Civil War, and it's just something that we still do, something that I'm really touched with.
Uh-huh.
Taps is very sad,
Yes.
but you feel good.
Yeah, I understand. Yes, it's beautiful.
And in the military, it's played at the end of the day, every day.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's the closing of the day.
day is done.
Yep.
Yeah. The family gets the flag,
Correct.
and what do they do? What I'm sure, I know you probably have, of course you have a flag. You have a flag, probably more than one. You have
I
your
do.
brothers?
Yes.
Yeah,
And my dad's.
yeah. And what do you do with them?
Hang them on the wall. And
As the triangle? Or
Yes.
Okay. Okay. No wonder you think about your brother every day.
I do. It's just something that touches me every day.
Sure. Yeah. What is the hardest part of this? We've talked about the best part, and this gives you much honor. But is there a difficult part?
It's sad, but you go home feeling good
Yeah.
that you honored your passing veterans and you helped their families. It's just something that we need to do. A lot of people don't realize that when you go off and serve your country in the military, you're doing a lot of sacrificing,
Yes.
whether in combat or not. You give up a lot of time and space and everything else.
Yeah.
And it's a good noble way, it's a good honest way, and we need to honor those people.
Yes.
The saddest thing for me is so often, especially with older veterans, there will only be a half a dozen people at the ceremony.
Oh my.
And you would think and hope that they would mean more and there would be more
You're right.
friends and family.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we'll only have, 5 or 6 family. And sometimes we have 30, 40, 50 people.
Uh-huh.
But, it's sad to see a veteran buried with so little recognition.
Right.
So it's nice for us to be there.
Yes, it is. Yes, thank you. Okay. So you have honor guard here. You have a flag. This is for your brother.
Mm-hmm.
This is, what does this stand for?
That just stands for, it's an honoring our country.
Okay. And on You
This, and
have,
this, the folded flag this is a national defense
okay.
flag. It's only worn by people like us.
Wow. Okay. So I will, the next time I go to a funeral of a veteran, I will look for those images, those pins. Thank you. Well, okay, if you are interested in helping the Honor Guard, please email Terry Crouson, Crouson at ncbb.net, and the next time you go to a veteran's funeral, take a look, and you'll know more about them. Gentlemen, I really appreciate your joining me
It
today,
was our honor to be here.
and I value what you do and what you have done. Thank you very much for being my
Thank you.
guest.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.